Hello. Today we will talk about advanced air mobility (AAM). So maybe you already heard about drone taxi or flying car. So we include everything that we call it AAM, and the UAM it is kind of in category for that AAM. So the urban air mobility is the flying distance is just restricted in the city, but the advanced air mobility is including the RAM and UAM. So everything we call that AAM. This is the very traffic jam image. So maybe if you are inside of this car, you'll feel that how can I fly from this car? And maybe if I have a wing, so I can go to the sky, or maybe your car had a wing or the kind of the looks like a helicopter, and then maybe you can just go to the up to that sky. Maybe you can escape from this road. Maybe that is your dream, but so far it was a dream. But I think that maybe it will be come true. So the it is not just for your dream. For example, it is already used in for that delivering service for the Amazon, and this is the drone for the delivering that stuffs from that kind of factory to the house. But they do not have a guilty if just they just missed that the stuff from the sky. Maybe in the road or the ground area, nobody's there. It is safe, and then also maybe it was just crushed, but it was not a big deal. But if you can imagine that it is a kind of flying car and also the drone taxi, and the people are just be inside of there. Maybe four people are being there, so crash is not allowed, or accident is not allowed. So certification is very important, and also we need to consider a lot of things for this AAM. Maybe you can see that just flying through the road is not a good idea, because if they just fall down, maybe they have a will have an accident with the car in the road. And it can be the very huge problem. So maybe they can use the rivers. So in Korea, maybe in Seoul, they can use Han River. So they can start it from the Yeoi Island, and they can go to the Gimpo Airport, and sometimes they can go to the Incheon National Airport. Maybe that is kind of the alternative method for that. Okay, so we can learn about the history of the flying car at first. This is the first type of the flying car. So Glenn Curtis, we can say that he's the father of the flying car. So it was at 1917 and Curtis autoplane. So this autoplane was never truly flew. So it just hopped and then jumped a little bit, but it was kind of the good trial for the first time for this flying car. So after that, many people just tried to make it, and then they just challenge it to make the flying car. Maybe after 20 years later, 1937, the name is Aerobill. So his name is the Waldo Waterman, aviation pioneer. It has the three wheels, and then it was a car, and then typically 100 horsepower. But as you know, the getting the funding is very difficult. At that time, the funding was killed, so that project was killed also, unfortunately. Here is very fascinating. The red colors name is Amphibian 1946. So it was making the transformation. So the car and then airplane was they just merge it together and convert the plane into the car. They just only took the 5 minutes. And it was historically very important that it is the first flying car for the just got the approved, certificated, and from the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. So they got FAA approval at first time for that flying car. So they have a very historic meaning. This interesting flying car's name is Air Car, 1970. So he looks like a really the engineer, the aeronautical engineer, Mo Taylor. So he just made in the inside of his garage. So he tried using his car. So and also he got the FAA approval. And then Ford Motor they considered marketing for these vehicles, but as you know, it was a little bit difficult for that. So that there is some oil crisis. So unfortunately, it was failed at that time. So there are a lot of the electric vertical, some the takeoff and the landing the types. So at first thing is as I will show it to you. So this one is the multicopter. Multicopter they have a lot of the uh, wings and then here, so we don't need to worry about some one propeller is just broken, so they can just make the symmetry again. So it was not a big deal. And also the lift and cruise type in the here is that they have the wing and also they have the uh, propellers like this. And tilt rotor, it was a long time ago they used this one. Tilt rotor is the first time it was the horizontally just they had the propeller and they are just they rotated to the 90 degree. So they just I'm sorry, so it was first time at just for the lift, and it was in the vertically they just show that, and then and after the lift it's just they just tilted to the 90 degree and they got some power for the thrust so that they can move the to forward. And also the other thing is a vertical thrust mode. So thrust mode means it go to the forward, and there are a lot of the types of the electric vertical take electric eVTOL. So we can say that electric vertical takeoff and landing. So we say that eVTOL. And as I show you, told you that there are multiple rotors. So if there is one propeller like the helicopter, so if one is just broken, so it can be just fell down. But in this case, even though the one thing is just broken, and then you can make the symmetry for then just the turn of this part, and other parts are remained, so we can just use it very safely. So that is the advantage for the multiple rotors. This is for the distributed electric propulsion. So this one also, as I told you, that they can rotate to the horizontally and the vertically. They can change it, and sometimes they go to the up, and then they can get the lift, and then they just make the propeller for the vertical way. And if you just so they just want to get the thrust, and then they just rotate it to the 0 degree and horizontally, and they can just go go forward for that UAM. So like AAM. Maybe we worried about the noise issues. So the helicopter they have noise about 80 decibel, but if it changed, so they have very small size of the propellers. Maybe not so much worried about that. So it was reduced like the 65 decibel. So it means that it is a little bit worried about that noise problem, but not being the near that housing or the houses. Maybe they go to some other places like the rivers or other little bit far from that very condensed area. Maybe it is not a big deal for that. And also this is the Vertiport. So that AAM is a very interesting part for that. So if you drive the car, it is the line is very important. You just follow that road. So if you can think that your starting point, and then go if you imagine about your destination. For example, like you started from that Gangnam station, and you go to the maybe like the Apgujeong station. Maybe if you can imagine that there is maybe you can use Naver or Kakao and other things. Maybe you can just got offered for that map map for the how can you get there. So maybe there is a road, and then you can draw the line from that Gangnam station to the Apgujeong station. But for example, like the UAM or the AAM case, we don't need to worry about that lines because it is kind of the point to point. So it is started from the one point, and maybe they can just choose a lot of the ways because they are just in the flying in the sky. So the point, just point is important. For example, like if you just started from the Gangnam station and your destination is Apgujeong station, maybe it feels like that each point is important, but you don't need to worry about that road or the lines because there is a lot of the roads because in the sky, so the height is different. It means that the road condition that your lane for your car is just for the horizontally put it, but it means that in the sky there is a vertically you can choose any kind of the road, so that is the not a big issue for the lines and the road. So totally that concept is just changed. So it is point to point. So vertiport is very important. So this is the example for the Uber Skyport. So one point is that they just in the roof for that building. So maybe if you go to that roof for your building, maybe you landed in here, and then you can just use the elevator, and you can go to down, and then you can go to your office directly. Maybe it will change your life. So for this AAM, it's very interesting part. And a lot of the company they try to make it, and Airbus Bahana project, and also the Airbus Audi project. That is the name of the pop-up next, and Porsche and Boeing and Joby Aviation. So Joby Aviation, it was originally the Uber Aviation, but they changed to Joby. So nowadays that they just uh, had a they takes over the Uber's air taxi business, Elevate, Uber Elevate. So now the Joby Aviation is a very big company for just takeover. So okay, so far we learned about the brief history for the AAM, and we learned about that mechanism and the multiple rotors, and we learned some about the companies for AAM. So in the next class, we will learn more about the very detailed things about the AAM. So yeah, okay. So let's call it a day.